Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nintendo DS Lite. So as far as the Nintendo DS whole thing was concerned, is there was actually four different consoles that were made all together after the Nintendo DS period was discontinued, and the first one was just the original Nintendo DS, which I've already reviewed. This is the second one, which is the Nintendo DS Lite, and there are two other ones, four total, that I won't show what they look like today. But really, what we're going to be after in this video more than anything is the differences between the original Nintendo DS and the Nintendo DS Lite, because the Nintendo DS Lite was quite a huge upgrade from the first one, like really good. And very arguably, there's people that say that the Nintendo DS Lite was actually the best one out of all four of them that were ever made. So before I compare these two and kind of show you the startup and the functions of this and everything, let's look into the history of the Nintendo DS Lite just briefly. Here we go. So the Nintendo DS Lite was a handheld game console that was produced by Nintendo, and it was the second console to be produced in the Nintendo DS family. And it was announced on January 26th of 2006, which was more than a month before its initial release in Japan on March 2nd of 2006, due to overwhelming demand on this brand new model. Or excuse me, due to overwhelming demand on the old model, the original model. The Nintendo DS Lite has been released in places like Australia, North America, Europe, New Zealand, Singapore, and also defined in regions of South America, the Middle East, and East Asia. And as of March 31st of 2014, the DS Lite has shipped 93.86 million units worldwide. That's absolutely freaking insane. So even though Nintendo had managed to release 550,000 units of the Nintendo DS Lite in March of 2006, which even then that was already above their original plan on how many they were going to produce, the DS Lite was sold out still very soon after its original release. And the shortage was supposed to be eased after Nintendo released 700,000 units of the DS Lite. However, there were still retailers in Tokyo that sold out yet again as late as May 2006. And the shortage would go on to continue to last all the way from 2006 to 2007, with retailers all over the country having permanent signing apologies for the shortage of these lights, but also at the same time stating that the arrival of these in the new stock was unknown. And even up to this point, when there were still new units that were arriving, they would still sell out in just a couple days. And since the restocking was erratic, looking for the product often required several visits to different retailers, and most of the time without finding the product. And this was still the case even in Japan as of April 25th of 2007, with stores turning away potential customers every day and selling out quickly. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there. This thing was massively in demand, like just ridiculous from what you guys could see. Now that I've given you guys some of the history, basically the most important plot of this whole device and how ridiculously high in demand it was, it is now time to take a look at the functions, and I'm going to compare it to the old model of the DS, Nintendo DS, and we're just going to go over all the functions on this device and take a look at the differences between this one and that one. Okay, so this thing is a flip, so you just open it like this, and already I am seeing some differences. Like for instance, okay, you got your cross. Let's just look at this. The cross to move your character. You got your speakers up here. You have your Y, X, A, B buttons, and then this looks like that is start and select. But you know what? Let me look here. Yeah, weird. I'm assuming that's got to be your start right there button and then the select button, but they're not marked like the original DS was. Now, closing this, the nice thing about this Nintendo DS Lite is you still were able to play Game Boy Advance games just like the original one. So that was really nice. And on this one, the stylus is right here, whereas in the older model, it's on the top right here. Well, this one, if you're holding it like this, it's not on the top. This one's on the top, but this one, you have to twist it, and it's on the side right here. So that's the difference as far as the stylus location is. And then on the side, you have your power switch, which is a slider. So, boom, you just slide it like this. There it goes. I'm not sure why it wasn't turning on there, but there it goes. It's a little bit stubborn. So, same thing, warning and health safety. It works the same way. You just have to hit up here to get to the game. So the menu is pretty much the same thing. But what is different about this? And I'm noticing there's some lights right here on this console. Okay. Now, if you look at the old one, there is no light. Let's look at some of the differences. So on the old one, the start and select buttons, they're on the top right corner. On the DS Lite, the start and selects are right here, is what it looks like to me. The cross is in the same spot as the original, and the power switch is right here on the original, whereas on this side, this is the power switch. And it's the power switch on the DS Lite is a slider. So boom, you just slide it like this. And it's also spring-loaded. So as soon as you let go, boom, it retracts back where it came from in the first place. There is also a built-in mic right here, microphone, just like in the original DS. But the mic is further down here on the original model, whereas in the DS Lite, the mic is right here. And the speakers are in a little bit of a different spot too. The original, boom, you have your speakers right here. Whereas on the DS Lite, the speakers are elevated right in the middle on the top monitor. Now let's take a look at the backs of these. So, okay, so the cap was pretty similar. Boom, you have your cap right here, your battery cap. Just a little screw that you have to screw in order to remove this thing. And then you have your battery, and it is... And then take a look at the old one. Boom. Very similar there. And also the light. The DS Lite is a little bit smaller than the original one. You guys see that? Boom. And then on the DS Lite, your volume dial is right here, which is very similar. Boom. See it? Right there. The original one, it's almost in the same spot. Boom, flip it like this, and then there's your volume dial. So those are pretty similar. And then boom, there's where you plug in your headphones, which is very similar also to the original one. The original one is right here. And if you really want to do some digging and take a look at some differences, you notice right here, I don't know what these things are called, but these are little rubber squares. One on each side. You see that? One right there, one right there. Now, if you set this thing down on a table and it's slanted or something, the rubber is probably going to give it nice traction to where it's not really going to slide. If you take a look at the old model of the DS Lite, boom, you have those those little traction squares right here as well. There's one right there, and then another one right here. And then there's even a third one right here, which the DS Lite does not have a third one. It just has the two on the top, but the three that the DS Lite original has, they're plastic. They're made out of the same material that this DS Lite is made out of, whereas the DS Lite, they're made out of rubber. So these little traction squares are going to have better traction on the DS Lite overall than the original one because they're rubber. Now let's take a look at the charger port. Boom, right above. You have your charger, and all you do is you take this charger, which is an AC adapter. I think that's what it says. You just plug it in right here. Similar to the original model, you just find any outlet to plug it in. But the real difference between this is with the original model, the charger port was a different shape and size. You guys want to look at that real quick? Boom. See that? Boom. Way different sizes. Now where the game gets put, it's the same concept. Boom. You just press the game inside the cartridge slot, like so. Just it works the same way like a pen. Boom. Push it in, clicks in, push it in, boom, pops right out, just like the old model. And you have your L and R buttons pretty much in the same spot as the original DS Lite, or the original DS period, but they're just shaped differently by quite a bit. And right here you have for customer service, www.nintendo.com, or call 1-800-255-3700, which is nice that they put that on the device so you can get repairs if you need or whatever. Also, another difference is not only are the stylus in a different spot, but on the Nintendo DS Lite, the stylus looks like it's green. And on the old one, the stylus is just gray. And also, the stylus from the Nintendo DS Lite is a lot bigger and bulkier than the original one. Okay, it's gotten darker. Now let's take a look at how this thing lights up. Boom. Come on. There you go. Adventure. File C. Okay, so the controls are pretty much the same here. But what looks different to me is the screens look like they're brighter than on the original, and the overall graphics might be better. But let's take a look at the old one when you turn on the screen. Okay, there's the old one screen. Look at the difference on the brightness. Boom, this is the old one, and then this is the new one. That is a... Let's take a look at the home screen side by side. Yeah, the DS Lite is definitely a lot brighter than the old one. So that is why this model got the name of DS Lite. It really lives up to its name. Those screens really are bright. Big time. And overall, the way that they designed this DS Lite, I feel like it was much better than the old one because it fits in your hand so much better. It's a lot smoother to handle and everything. It's not as big, and the old one, yeah, it's still good, but it doesn't fit in your hands as good. It's kind of a little bit of a clunkier feel. It really makes the difference between like holding a metal knife, a metal handled knife, as opposed to a wooden tipped knife. Metaphorically speaking, if you have a metal hand knife and you're cutting the ground like this, or boom, you can't feel anything. But if you have a wooden handle, you can feel everything that blade is doing. It's kind of just metaphorically speaking there. So that's pretty much all you guys need to know about the DS Lite. What a difference that thing is. Way different than the old model. And it is no wonder that these things were so ridiculously high in demand. So there you guys have it. There's the official review for the Nintendo DS Lite. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you would, please share this video with a buddy. And if you would be kind enough, don't forget to leave a comment down below to help boost the algorithm. If you guys did enjoy this video, I would ask that you check out my Pepsi Cola Hot Chocolate official review. The video did pretty well when I first released it, but it didn't quite hit that 1,000 view threshold. So I will leave the link of Pepsi Cola Hot Chocolate official review down in the description below of this video, and if you guys would check that video out for me, I sure would appreciate it. There's going to be much more to come, so stay tuned for everything, and I thank you guys for watching.